Hello, English language learners. Welcome to Everyday English Conversations, the podcast that helps you learn and use common phrases and expressions in daily life situations. I'm your host, Adam, and today we're going to talk about how to make small talk with strangers. Small talk is a casual conversation that you have with someone you don't know very well, or someone you want to be friendly with. It's a way of breaking the ice, showing interest, and building rapport. Small talk can happen in many situations, such as at a party, in a waiting room, on a bus, or in an elevator. But how do you start a small talk conversation? And what topics are appropriate to talk about? Here are some tips and examples to help you out. Tip 1. Use open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that require more than a yes or no answer. They invite the other person to share more information and opinions and keep the conversation going. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like this music?" you can ask, "What kind of music do you listen to?" Or, "How do you feel about this music?" Tip 2. Choose topics that are common, neutral, and positive. Common topics are things that most people can relate to, such as the weather, hobbies, sports, movies, or current events. Neutral topics are things that are not likely to cause controversy or disagreement, such as politics, religion, or personal problems. Positive topics are things that are pleasant, interesting, or funny, such as compliments, jokes, or stories. For example, you can say, "It's a beautiful day today, isn't it?" Or, "I really like your shirt. Where did you get it?" Or, "Did you hear about the new movie that's coming out soon?" Tip 3. Avoid topics that are too personal, sensitive, or negative. Personal topics are things that are private or intimate, such as your family, your health, your finances, or your relationship status. Sensitive topics are things that are emotional or controversial, such as your beliefs, your opinions, your fears, or your complaints. Negative topics are things that are unpleasant, boring, or rude, such as gossip, criticism, or insults. For example, you should not say, "How much money do you make?" Or, "What do you think of the president?" Or, "You look tired. Are you sick?" Now, let's practice some small talk conversations with different scenarios. I'll play the role of a stranger, and you can imagine how you would respond. You can pause the podcast after each question and think of your answer, or you can repeat after me if you want to practice your pronunciation. By the end of this podcast, I will provide you with a full conversation between two people for each scenario. Scenario 1. You're at a party and you see someone standing alone by the snack table. You approach them and say, "Hi, I'm Adam. I don't think we've met before. What's your name?" "Nice to meet you, learner. How do you know Sarah?" "Oh, I see. How long have you been friends with her?" "That's cool. So, what do you do for a living?" "Wow, that sounds interesting. What do you like most about your job?" "I can imagine." "And what do you do for fun when you're not working?" "Really? Me too. I love soccer." "How did you get into it?" "That's awesome. Do you have any favorite movies related to soccer?" "I agree. That's a great show. Have you seen or read anything else lately that you would recommend?" "I'll have to check that out." "Thanks for the suggestion. Well, it was nice talking to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the party." "You too. See you around." Scenario 2. You're in a waiting room at the dentist's office and you see someone sitting next to you reading a magazine. You say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I take a look at that magazine when you're done?" "Thanks, I appreciate it." "What are you reading about?" "Oh, that sounds interesting. Are you into technology?" Me too. I find it fascinating. How did you get interested in it? That's cool. Do you follow any blogs, podcasts, or channels about it? I've heard of that one. It's pretty good. Do you have any other favorites? I'll have to check them out. Thanks for the tips. By the way, I'm Adam. What's your name? Nice to meet you, learner. How long have you been coming to this dentist? I see. Do you like them? I agree. They're very professional and friendly. I've been coming here for a few years now. Well, I hope everything goes well for you today. It was nice talking to you. You too. Have a good day. Scenario 3. You're on a bus and you see someone sitting next to you wearing headphones. You tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hi, sorry to bother you, but I couldn't help noticing your headphones. What are you listening to?" "Oh, I love that song. Who's the artist?" "I've heard of them. They're pretty good." "What kind of music do you usually listen to?" "Me too. I like all kinds of music." "What are some of your favorite artists or bands?" "I know some of them. They're awesome." "Do you have any others that you would recommend?" "I'll have to give them a listen." Thanks for the advice. By the way, I'm Adam. What's your name? Nice to meet you, learner. Where are you headed today? Oh, that sounds fun. What are you going to do there? That sounds exciting. How often do you go there? I see. Well, I hope you have a great time. It was nice talking to you. You too. Enjoy your day. You've done great so far, learner. Here's an example of how the dialogue might look like. Scenario 1. Party. Hi, I'm Adam. I don't think we've met before. What's your name?
I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Sarah. How do you know the host?
I work with them at the same company. How about you?
I'm their neighbor. We live in the same building.
Oh, I see. How long have you been friends with them?
For about a year now. They're very nice and helpful.
That's cool. So, what do you do for a living?
I'm a software engineer. I work for a tech company that develops web applications.
Wow, that sounds interesting. What do you like most about your job?
I like the challenge of solving problems and creating new things. And I also enjoy working with a team of talented and friendly people.
I can imagine. And what do you do for fun when you're not working?
I like to read books, watch movies, and play video games. How about you?
Really? Me too, I love those things. How did you get into them?
Well, I've always been interested in stories and technology. I think they're both great ways of learning and escaping from reality.
That's awesome. Do you have any favorite books, movies, or games related to those topics?
I do. Some of my favorites are The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Matrix, and Portal. Have you read, seen, or played any of them?
I have. They're all great. Have you read, seen, or played anything else lately that you would recommend?
I have. I recently read Ready Player One, which is a novel about a virtual reality game. It was very entertaining and immersive. Have you heard of it?
I have. I've been meaning to read it, but I haven't had the time yet. Thanks for the suggestion. Well, it was nice talking to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the party.
You too. See you around. Scenario 2. In the waiting room.
Excuse me, do you mind if I take a look at that magazine when you're done?
Not at all. Here you go.
Thanks, I appreciate it. What are you reading about?
I'm reading about travel. There's an article about the best places to visit in Europe.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Are you into travel?
I am. I love exploring new cultures and landscapes. How about you?
Me too, I find it fascinating. How did you get interested in it?
Well, I've always been curious about the world. I started traveling when I was a student, and I've never stopped since then.
That's cool. Do you follow any blogs, podcasts, or channels about travel?
I do. Some of my favorites are Nomadic Matt, Travel with Rick Steves, and the Travel Channel. Do you have any others that you would recommend?
Duh. Some of my favorites are Lonely Planet, The Travel Bug, and The Globetrotter. Have you heard of them?
I have. They're pretty good. Do you have any other favorites?
Duh. Some of my favorites are the New York Times Travel, the Guardian Travel, and the National Geographic Travel. Have you heard of them?
I have. They're very informative and inspiring. By the way, I'm Adam. What's your name?
I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, user. How long have you been coming to this dentist?
I've been coming here for about 6 months now. They're very good and affordable.
I agree. They're very professional and friendly. I've been coming here for a few years now.
Well, I hope everything goes well for you today. It was nice talking to you.
You too. Have a good day. Scenario 3. You're on a bus and you see someone sitting next to you wearing headphones. You tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hi, sorry to bother you, but I couldn't help noticing your headphones. What are you listening to?"
I'm listening to some jazz music. Do you like jazz?
I do. I love jazz. Who's the artist?
It's Miles Davis. He's one of my favorites. Do you know him?
I do. He's amazing. What kind of jazz do you usually listen to?
I like all kinds of jazz, but especially the blues, cool, and fusion. How about you?
Me too. I like all kinds of jazz, but especially swing, blues, and soul. What are some of your favorite artists or bands?
Some of my favorites are Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, and Herbie Hancock. How about you?
Some of my favorites are Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and Ray Charles. Do you have any others that you would recommend?
Duh. Some of my favorites are Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, and Stevie Wonder. Have you heard of them?
I have. They're awesome. Do you have any others that you would recommend?
Duh. Some of my favorites are Thelonious Monk, Nina Simone, and Marvin Gaye. Have you heard of them?
I have. They're fantastic. By the way, I'm Adam. What's your name?
I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Sarah. Where are you headed today?
I'm going to the library. I need to do some research for a project. What about you?
I'm going to the park. I need some fresh air and exercise. What are you going to do at the library?
I'm going to look for some books and articles about jazz history. It's for a presentation I have to give next week.
That sounds interesting. How often do you go to the library?
I go there at least once a week. It's a great place to study and learn.
I agree. It's a great place to read and relax. Well, I hope you have a great time. It was nice talking to you.
You too. Enjoy your day.
That's all for today's episode of Everyday English Conversations. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable. Remember, practice makes perfect. So try to use these tips and examples whenever you have a chance to make small talk with strangers. You never know, you might make a new friend or learn something new. If you have specific topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.